I am going to start painting my first layer of my abstract expressionism, non-objective painting. So I have all my stuff here. I have my palette. This is all dry. You could paint on top of it, mix on top of it. I'm just going to flip mine over. I have a palette that has some paint on it that I still want to use because it's still viable. My canvas, water cup, paper towel, and then I am going to use orange and blue and all the neutrals I can mix with that. And so I pulled out my white because I can use white to get some different values. I have my red and yellow, and then my cool blue because I'm using yellow. You could also use the warm blue, I guess. It doesn't really matter. But if you are, just a reminder, if you're making green, use the cool. And if you're gonna make violet, use the warm. All right. Let me get comfortable here. The first thing I'm gonna do on my canvas, I wanna flip it over and go ahead and fill out these things. The title, you might not have that yet. You are the artist, so please put your name on there. Of course, put the date that you start. You could write the medium, sure. You're using acrylics, and then, you know, art signature. And then I also want you down in this corner, put your advisory teacher so that these can get returned to you. Those are the two big ones, name, advisory. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip, and I'm gonna get this whole background painted. I just kind of want one color, maybe a little variation. And remember, I'm using blue and orange in all the colors that blue and orange will make. So I think I want my background to be mostly orange. So I need to mix that. I have every brush here, but I'm gonna use my largest flat brush because I'm gonna fill in the whole background. And so your first step might be to mix and make a color. Okay, that all looks all right. Use that in a minute. Remember, your acrylics are sealed. Try to be a good steward of your paint. You can always get more from me when you're in the room. Now I'm also going to pull out some white because when you add white to a color, it's going to lighten it. When you add black to a color, it's going to make it a darker value. And when you add gray, that's actually going to change the color altogether. So now that I'm thinking, I might make a tone. So I might use gray. Oh, I've dirtied every brush. Your brushes, when you're not, like I'm using a lot of brushes to scoop out paint, make sure they go into water right away. If I just leave my brush dirty and it dries like this, your brush is going to be rock hard. So you can either wash them out right away and let them dry a little bit, or you can just let them sit in the water for a little bit. I'm just going to wash mine really quick so that they can dry, because I'll probably use some of these. So now I'm gonna start mixing. I want an orange. And I'm filling the large background. That's why I have more paint, I guess, than I normally would. You want to make sure that the orange or the green or the violet that you make is orange and that it's not red orange or yellow orange. You're also going to have probably a lot of paint in your brush. I don't want to waste that. I kind of want to get that smushed out of there. And then I'm going to do a little test right here, because if I add white, of course, it's going to make it lighter. But then if I add a little bit of black, that changes it a lot. Okay, I kind of like that, so I'm going to use that in my background. And remember, you can also make neutrals. So I'm going to use the Cool Blue, and I'm going to mix another color. Let's just scoop up a little bit. Made a really beautiful color, and if I wanted it a little bit lighter, which I do, I'm going to add a little white to it. I could add more white to it and make it even lighter. Let's just do a little bit. Now, as you're painting, and this is just the background, I honestly don't have a good, really a plan. I'm just gonna kind of go with it. I can put on my music that I chose for this project. Okay, I'm just thinking. I think I'm gonna make some of my orange a little bit lighter. Yep, that's where I kind of want to start, I think. Now, once I get painting here, acrylic, you typically don't use water. You can. It'll make it a little more washed out. You can see here, not everything was mixed, but I kind of like that. Here's what happens if I add some water. It just kind of almost makes it like watercolor. In your background, maybe you want to fill it with shapes. I just know I just want to fill it with color and brush strokes. I can also, you know, if I get some paint on here, you know, I can mix right on top here. I can put the white right on. And blend it in. I could even put some of this darker orange. But then I can put the white you know, right on top of it. That's gonna blend in. Okay, you can see I have my first layer. Your first layer can look so different from mine. You're kind of just getting that background color in. This is not finished. It doesn't look finished. There's going to be a lot of different layers on top of it. I'm going to pull in some of those drawings from my plan. Like I had some wavy lines I'm somehow going to pull in here. Some dots, different things I had on there. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Acrylic, it dries pretty quickly. Mine's just a little sticky. So you might be able to get a couple layers done today. You might just finish this first layer. One thing, our canvas edges aren't very thick, but we do have a little bit of an edge. And so you should, it doesn't really matter what color it is, but as you're painting, you probably want to kind of paint in that edge all the way around. Just kind of wraps the painting around. So I'll finish doing that here in a moment. And then while this is drying, I might be mixing my next colors. Remember, I'm still using orange and blue and the neutrals that it creates. You can use white and black to make it dark and light. So you're gonna see a lot of different colors on here. I haven't really just used blue yet, so that'll be pulled in. But it's okay to end here for today or bring it to that next level, add that next layer.